Broadcasting stations.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in. Nice to have you on a Wednesday, just sort of a rainy Wednesday, and it's supposed to get really bad in the afternoon. I guess they're saying from around 3 o'clock today, 3 to 7, something like that, we are going to get some severe weather. This is becoming a weekly thing. Let's hope it's not too bad. Anyway, just be aware, especially around 3 o'clock. Look at your phones. Check out warnings just to be on the safe side. Now we know it's the Grizz and the Timberwolves. Just the contest that I wanted. Interesting game last night. We get to that in a second. Tigers get a transfer. This transfer is a good player. This is not the kind of transfers, though, that Memphis is used to seeing. We'll talk about that. And we make our golf picks. It's interesting. So the order will go the same as it did last week. And remember, last week was random. This week is by what we earned at Augusta. And I'm last, $154,000. Mickey Barker from Public Golf, $330,000. He's second to last, same as he was last week. Or second pick, I should say. J-Mo got $1 million. He sits in second place. Johnny Lyon, $2.8 million. So what, did you get $2 million for winning?
$2.7 million is what you got for winning this year.
$2.7 million for winning the Masters. You know, it used to be you couldn't find that number.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't let you know.
That's a classic Augusta National.
Yeah,
move.
oh, yeah, everything is, hush-hush private. I mean, you think about it. They wouldn't let an announcer talk, all because he said that the greens were as fast as bikini wax.
Not what you want your course to be associated with, I guess.
I always thought that poor Gary McCord, he got the raw end of that deal. And CBS, I thought they could have fought harder for him. They didn't. I did like that CBS kept Vern Lundquist, though, at the 17th or 16th hour. That's the only thing he's doing for him. He didn't do the NCAA tournament like he always did. Obviously, he's no longer doing NFL. He hasn't done that for years. I really thought last summer that was it for him. Because he was still doing in the NCAA, I want to say.
I think last season, wasn't he?
Not this year. I think last year. That's why I thought last year was the finale. And yet they're and I love it. I'm glad they still let him do golf. He's great. I mean, he's the voice of 16 and 6.
I heard he wasn't in the tower this year, though. He was in like their, main
compound.
Yeah, compound. That's
really.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he was there on the.
That's what I heard,
tower.
at least. It could be wrong, but that's what I heard.
You know what? He's up there, and he's a big guy.
Yeah.
It may have been hard for him to get up to that perch.
No kidding.
But I was just so pleased that they let him have that. All right, let's we're going to make our golf picks. That'll come in about 20 minutes or so. In the meantime, so the Timberwolves and their coach Chris Finch. I mean, he is doing the craziest thing. He is allowing. They say that the physicality goes up in a postseason, right? And I hate to say this, but Reggie Miller and Kevin Harlan last night, they couldn't quite figure out what the adjective for this play is. Well, I can tell you, it's not a playoff because it's not allowed in the playoff statistics. It's the play-in. But you know what it is? It's postseason. They couldn't quite figure out that adjective. It's postseason, and the level of intensity and physicality goes up. And the referees were allowing some of it, but not all of it. And Chris Finch, their coach, allowed D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns to get into foul trouble. You're talking about early in the second quarter, Karl Anthony Towns picks up his fourth foul. How do you allow that to happen? As Charles Barkley said, that's terrible coaching. And it is.
And it's hard to argue with, especially considering a lot of people would say Karl Anthony Towns is the best player on the team, one of the premier players in the league, and he played 24 minutes in a game. It's not lose or go home, but for all intents and purposes, I guess you get another game, so it's literally not lose or go home. But
No.
you're playing to get in the playoffs.
You're playing. If you win, you're in. You don't have to sweat out
Right.
another game like the Clippers do now. The Clippers have to beat the winner of the Pelicans and the Spurs in order to get there. And then instead of playing Memphis, they're going to go play Phoenix. That's the 1 seed, in case folks don't know. That's the best record in the NBA. That's a bad deal. You'd rather play Memphis than you would Phoenix, I think.
I will say this too, though, and I might die on this hill too. Karl-Anthony Towns, I really am not a fan of. This year, I think he's changed his game completely. I think Anthony Edwards has helped a lot with that just by his demeanor. He seems less selfish. But last night, the Timberwolves might have been better with him off the court.
Well, they were. As soon as he fouled out of the game, early in the fourth quarter, they went on a 16-2 run. It ended up being 27-5 at one point. I mean, that was pretty impressive. They were better on the floor without Karl-Anthony Towns. You got that what's the kid that's the rebounding machine? He had 10 rebounds last night.
Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt.
Uh-huh.
Should know that name, like the school.
Like the school.
He was very, very impressive in that game. You know, Beasley is a good player, but here's their core. And they're 4 good players, which Charles Barkley said is more talented than Memphis.
He did.
And Shaq O'Neal agreed. And they both picked the 7-seed Timberwolves over the 2-seed Grizzlies. Kenny Smith did not. And
he's a Grizz guy.
I thought Ernie Johnson, he can't make a pick, but the way he was talking made you think he believes that Shaq and Barkley are sort of downplaying Memphis's talent. What you've got with this core, Edwards has become a great player, not just driving. One thing he could not do in college, or at least in the games I saw, he couldn't shoot. He can flat out shoot from the outside now, and that's deep NBA three-point range. He has dialed it in. I don't think he's the greatest defensive player in the world, but he is an offensive weapon. Then you've got the disruptor, Patrick Beverley, who is insane, I think.
He is.
He's trying to get in your head. He's picking. He's lucky he didn't get teed out of that game.
Every game, for that matter.
I mean, it's crazy. And then what he did after the game, we'll get into that in a second, but, you know, you'd think he won the championship. Craziness. And then D'Angelo Russell, who's been a failure, right? D'Angelo Russell has gone. He was with the Lakers,
the Nets.
The Nets. He's had 3 chances. It's like 3 chances and you're out. Not for D'Angelo Russell. His 4th team, this Timberwolves team, has been a charm for him. He is a really solid guy. So you take Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns, and he's the best guy. Now, some of his stuff now, talked about how he changed his game. He won that 3-point shooting thing, so now he wants to be a wing player. And Charles Barkley hit this right. He hasn't hit everything right, but he hit this right. You want a guy who's 7 feet tall inside to take advantage of those talents, those skills inside. Also, by the way, he draws people with him. So if he's inside, that's going to leave Edwards and Beasley and Beverly and everybody else open on the outside. But he wants to be a wing guy. It's crazy.
And that's what he wants to be too. Like it's his choice. He's deciding to do that. It's not like people are saying to him, "You need to be out there. You need to do more of that." No, he just is allergic to the paint.
So that to me, I don't understand his play, and they were better with him. He's got to if he will accept, and this is up to Chris Finch to do, to say, "Look, buddy, we got other guys who can shoot on the outside, and if you draw them inside, because you're a great player, you're the best player on this team, but if you play the role as we envision it, we can go a long way because we'll let these other guys have open looks." And they do move the ball well. So I think it's going to be a great series. It was split in the regular season. The home team won every time, and that's the key. Memphis has the home court advantage. And I do think that Shaq and Barkley were downplaying the talent that Memphis has. And they made the point that D'Angelo Russell, I think, averaged about 30 points a game, and Ja only 20 points a game in the series between the two teams in the 4 games. And they were making the point that Russell bothers Ja, or Patrick Beverly will bother Ja. And based on that, I mean, they're discounting how good Jaren Jackson Jr. has become. And that'll be fun to watch inside between Steven Adams and him, what they do with Karl Anthony Towns. He's discounted how good Desmond Bane has become, how many guys can shoot the ball, including Melton from the outside. I think they discounted, for whatever reason, that Memphis's talent is the equivalent, at least the equivalent of the core that I just talked about. Ja is the only one that has the star status at this point of both Karl Anthony Towns and Edwards.
That's why I think the wording, the phrasing that they used was very either particular. I mean, it's an interesting way to put it, that they have better star power, better players at the front. Because I think it also speaks to something I've thought all year long, is that if you look through the Grizzlies roster, you're like, man, how is this team so good? But it's just the fact of the matter is that they play incredibly.
Well, play. Here's the deal.
Not to downplay how good these guys are.
Let me just point out, because Kenny Smith does. First of all, he claims, and he's probably right, the best player on the floor is not Karl Anthony Towns or Anthony Edwards, right? They are big stars, and combined, they're probably better than the top 2 of Memphis, but the top 1, John Morant, is the best player on the floor.
Score the best out of anybody.
He certainly can control a game. He can take over a game. And, if Karl Anthony Towns tries to block his shot, how many fouls will he pick up? We know he's got a pension. He's already fouled out of a play-in game. So the other aspect is, and even Charles Barkley says, this is the stupidest talented team he's ever seen. And it starts with the way that Karl Anthony Towns has chosen to play, especially ever since he's won the three-point shooting contest. And the Grizzlies are really smart with the way they use their pieces. And I think it was Kenny who said, and you see, he's really giving a lot of positivity to Taylor Jenkins. Every game you see the game plan and they work the game plan, and Minnesota doesn't necessarily do that.
That's absolutely true, too. But, they also really do a good job of empowering Karl Anthony Towns. Like, that's the thing that I think Anthony Edwards has contributed to him the most, is like a lot of times last year, let's say a reporter would ask a critical question of the head coach, and the head coach might say, yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is not playing the way that we wanted him to play there, blah, blah, blah. Well, when Anthony Edwards is asked those questions this year, he goes, no, he's playing his game. He needs to keep doing it. And that kind of empowerment has almost made Karl Anthony Towns better. Last night, it kind of went the other way.
Yeah.
And that's what you think. It might go that way in the playoffs. So it's going to be a good matchup, I think.
Oh, I think it'll be great. Who do you think Patrick Beverly's going to draw? If he draws Ja, that becomes incredibly interesting. And what will he do to try to get in Ja's head?
I think that has to be the matchup, at least at the beginning. But you look at all these guys. Anthony Edwards certainly – might be D'Angelo Russell the worst out of the 3 perimeter defenders they have, but they have 3 decent ones that you can mix in. And then Patrick Beverly is obviously an elite defender. So if they go with a stretch where it's getting to Bane a lot or Brooks a lot, you can mix and match. You can switch those guys and all these different actions.
And that's another guy we didn't mention is Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Now Dylan can be streaky. Here's the one thing he does do on a consistent basis very well is defend. So who is he on? Is he going to be on D'Angelo Russell? If he is, that can help to nullify D'Angelo Russell. And in those 4 games, I don't know that Dylan Brooks really played.
And, the Grizzlies, the same thing I just said about the Timberwolves, you can say about the Grizzlies switching with those defenders too. Brooks and Bane, essentially kind of the same defender, can guard the same position.
Yeah.
Switch those actions whenever you want to. And I'm very critical of Jaren Jackson Jr. I acknowledge that. But I love the matchup that he can potentially have with Karl Anthony Towns. And you allow Steven Adams to bang with Jared Vanderbilt, who you mentioned,
right.
Very physical
All
player.
he does is rebound.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he does. So, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a fun
I've
series.
been thinking about it. I think Memphis wins this in 6 or 7. I truly do. I say 7 because it's a 2-2-1-1-1 series. So it opens on Saturday 2:30, and it obviously opens in Memphis. Second game is going to be on Tuesday, April the 19th in FedEx Forum. Time to be determined. The next game is a Saturday in Minneapolis on the Thursday, the 21st, 2 days in between them. That is a 6:30 game. The next game to be determined is Saturday, April the 23rd. So there's your first 4. Then Tuesday in Memphis, the 26th, if necessary. Friday in Minneapolis on the 29th, if necessary. Game 7 would take place on a Sunday, prime time, I'm sure, in Memphis on May the 1st. Barkley and Shaq, as we mentioned, think Minnesota's going to win. Kenny Smith picked Memphis. I'm picking Memphis in 6 or 7. What do you think, J-Mo?
I think Memphis in 6 or 7 as well. I think it's going to go to 6 or 7, certainly. It's going to be a great series. I hate the matchup with the Timberwolves, like I mentioned. But after watching last night, I feel like I'm a little more confident in thinking Karl-Anthony Towns is not made for this moment. I like Memphis in this series.
We are sitting in the Family Leisure studio, urging you to go to see the folks at Family Leisure. Get started on your outdoor living space. That's the new thing. We've all come to appreciate our houses more because of the pandemic, and make that outdoor space with a kitchen or a pool your real comfortable safe place. The all-new 2022 patio furniture is in. I've gotten a new table and chair set. It is gorgeous. In stock, hot tubs. They're ready for delivery. As you get a little older, those things help after a golf game, I promise. Great deals on play gyms, tramps, those grills. And I mentioned those kitchens. They are so cool on the outside. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road, Family Leisure. So the Tigers got last night a kid from Georgia Southern. His name is Elijah McCadden. Elijah McCadden is a fifth-year senior who scored over 1,000 points in his career, 11.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, which led his team last year. He has started he's played in 115 games, a lot of experience. 115, I think that's more than any Tiger has played thus far. Guess the most any Tiger would have played in a uniform at this point would probably be Alo, right? And he's missed several.
Would have to be.
Harris has played in a lot of games if you count both all the schools.
That's the kicker.
But
then you got NIT games that Iowa State did not play because they only won 2 games 2 years ago.
Well, that's true. Anyway, this kid's played in 115 games. He's had 70 starts, but he wasn't starting last year. He was the Sun Belt 6th man of the year.
I thought that was peculiar, that he went from starting 2 years in a row to playing. Maybe it's just a roll deal. His shot amount did go up last year. It could be that, but I thought that was peculiar.
How many minutes did he average? You got it right there.
Yeah, 28 minutes a game last year.
So
basically
coming off
the same.
the bench, but he's got starters minutes. Here's the difference. And I think as long as the IARP thing is out there until there's a resolution on that, these may be the kinds of guys that Memphis is going to get until this gets totally resolved. And I'm not putting this kid down, and maybe this is what Penny had in mind. But we mentioned Kendrick Davis had entered the portal, and I believe that early on, Kendrick Davis had interest in coming to Memphis. I don't know if that interest is still there because he wants to play in the NCAA tournament. He didn't get to play there this year. When he was at TCU and they let him go, they didn't go to the NCAA. He's never been to the NCAA. So I'm sure that is going to be a factor in wherever this guy lands. Memphis is used to that kind of a player, or a guy like Landers Nolly, who was the freshman of the year in the ACC, right? Or you're used to guys like Bates or Duran. And this guy, even though he fits the new mold that Penny is going after, which is a transfer player, he's not the kind of 5-star, 4-star, big-name guy, even experienced guy, who played at another school and was a big-time starter. That's not what you're getting with this first announcement. Now, that's not to say that's the way it'll go the whole way, but I'm excited. I think he helps, but this is a different little path that Penny is going to have to take until the IARP is settled. Now, this guy is a team guy, and according to what he said, Penny told him the reason he was interested in his services are he is a fit for the kind of thing they're looking for. And I believe Penny in that. And I believe Penny does, as you've seen, as teams get on through the year, when we get to the end of February, teams, this Memphis Penny's teams have played together and improved and gotten better. And if this kid is a fit for what they're looking for, I believe all of that. One last thing before we take our first break here. History made in the major leagues last night. Did you know that, J-Mo?
I did not.
You're looking at me
I'm
like
surprised.
I'm crazy. You probably heard this story. You just didn't correlate. Something happened last night in the major leagues that has never happened in the history of our American passion.
Well, it's not an
our national sport.
It's not an Albert Pujols home run because he's done that many a time, but he did one.
No, but he did hit his first one
back as a
Hey,
Cardinal.
what did they? Yeah, they actually gave the amount of days that were in between his last Cardinal home run and,
it was over,
this one.
Over 1,000, I believe.
Oh, it was well over 1,000 days. Yeah,
2,000, something like. I can't remember what it was.
No, this has to do with the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants have a first base coach named Anton Richardson, and Anton Richardson got ejected from the Giants game. Giants, by the way, came back and won the game 13-2. So there is a person that was standing by the batting cage, because that's normally where that person stands and watches the game. This person is a defensive analyst and I guess partakes in analyzing video for players on their hitting stroke and things of that nature. That person's name is Alyssa Nakken. I hope I am pronouncing it right. Nakken, whatever it may be. Alyssa is her name, and she is the first woman ever in the history of Major League Baseball to be an on-field coach in a regular season game. So she put on her batting helmet, because now first base coaches have to have those things, and took off her sweatshirt. She had the San Francisco Giant uniform on. That helmet is already on its way to the Hall of Fame. Alyssa, we congratulate you. This comes like a week after a woman was a coach for a single-A baseball team. First time that has ever occurred. She was the manager. So congratulations to those two, and especially to Alyssa, because she's the first woman ever to coach on field in a regular season game. Our title sponsor for this program, you know it. It's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, where you will never pay more than sticker price on a new car. That's the way they roll. I promise. They are very, very upfront about it. It's a, old law of supply and demand. A lot of dealerships are taking advantage of that because there's not a big supply and there is a huge demand. And sometimes it makes more sense to buy a new car than a used car, because used cars have gone up over 40% from a year ago. But you won't pay more than sticker price, and not every dealership is saying that. So if you want to see the way they set the standard for car business, you get on Lamar. It's Highway 78. The first exit in Mississippi is Craft Road. Turn left. You'll have arrived at Homer Skelton Hyundai. We pause for just a second. When we come back, we'll put a recap ending to the Masters, and we'll make some golf picks for the tournament coming up in it's in North Carolina, right? It's Hilton Head. Isn't that the tournament this week?
I thought it was the RBC Heritage.
It is the RBC Heritage.
I thought that was in Canada.
No, I think it's in Hilton Head.
You might be right.
We'll
at least it's the Heritage.
You got it. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time on. I should say this is Wolo and Friends on Sports 56.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, fellas. It's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and I want to make you aware of something. Did you know that April is Diamond Month? Well, it is. And if your wife or your girlfriend or maybe your daughter has a birthday in April, Diamond is her birthstone. If your wedding anniversary is in April, then your wife surely deserves a diamond. Whatever the occasion, a small gift-wrapped box containing beautiful diamond jewelry from Russell Brothers will always hit a home run and make you a hero in her eyes. A ring or a pendant, earrings or bracelet. You just can't go wrong with a piece of diamond jewelry from Russell Brothers. It'll be a gift that she'll treasure for many years. For 5 decades, Russell Brothers has been helping Memphis men find the very best in diamond jewelry for their sweethearts. In yellow or white gold, in platinum or sterling, you cannot go wrong with a gift of exquisite diamond jewelry from Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
I'm with the expert. Yeah, that's right, expert. Kyle Storms here with Big Green Egg. Kyle, what can you cook on a Big Green Egg?
Almost anything. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill. Some of the best barbecue, desserts, and pizzas I've ever eaten have been cooked on a Big Green Egg.
I have to be honest. The last grill I had fell apart on me. I had to throw it away. What kind of warranty comes with a Big Green Egg?
This will truly be the last grill you have to buy. Big Green Egg has had a lifetime warranty on all ceramic parts of the egg since 1995. I talk to customers all the time that have had their eggs for 10, 20, 30 plus years. You can't say that about most grills.
How long has the Big Green Egg been around?
Big Green Egg was founded in 1974 by naval engineer Ed Fisher and has never changed ownership. Ed found out that no matter what you throw on an egg, it just comes out better. And now more and more people find out every year.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We welcome you back in. We're going to make some golf picks here and put a recap on the Masters. Sort of close the book on it with Mickey Barker. We're trying to get a hold of our friend Johnny Lyon, and we will do that momentarily. In the meantime, I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. And, of course, it is the home of the Super Tune-Up. You can't beat that. I promise you. And you need it. You need it twice a year for your system to stay in tune, to be efficient, to save money on your MLGW bill, and also to make the system last longer. Longevity is another nice little gift you get from getting the Super Tune-Up. All you got to do is call 384-3511, and you will hit the jackpot with Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. So we've got everybody in place. And, gentlemen, It was Johnny Lyon who stole the show last week. He made almost $3 million. $2,838,250. He had Scotty Scheffler. J-Mo had over $1 million. Mickey Barker, you had $330,000. I was in last, $154,000. So for the RBC Heritage, which takes place in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And by the way, that's the first tournament ever played in South Carolina, was at this Harbortown Links. We will make our golf picks. Let's bring in both these gentlemen so that we make sure we get this right. And Johnny, congratulations to you. Let's start there. You picked Scotty Scheffler. So let me ask you right off the bat, is Scotty Scheffler a little like Jordan Spieth was, where he is just on a hot streak, or is he going to be the next really great player that will win multiple majors?
Hard to say. I think he's going to be around a while. He's only 25, and he's got a good head on his shoulder. Good person, and I think everybody likes him.
All right, Johnny, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to put you on hold, Johnny, because we are having a little problem with that connection. We'll try to get it better. So let me bring in Mickey Barker. Mickey, good morning. How are you? And let me ask you the same thing. What do you think? Is Scotty Scheffler the next great thing, or is he a little like, say, Jordan Spieth was, who won those 3 majors in 18 months, struggled after that, or is this a guy you think will have sustained big-time success?
Good morning, Dave. I really believe he is. You will see sustained success from him going forward. From what you understand, he is just a winner on every level. He's won over 90 junior events down in the Dallas area, and just an amazing player. Really level-headed, easygoing. Doesn't get too high on the golf course. Doesn't get too low. You never know. I mean, he's one major away from having more than most of the guys down through history. So once you get to the 2 major level, you're really close to being a Hall of Famer at that point.
Oh yeah, I think 2 majors. You win 2 majors, and say at least 5 tournaments overall. I think you got to do that. I think you're a Hall of Famer if you do that. Which, you think about Tiger Woods, 15 majors and 82 tour wins. I mean, that is incredible. And I'm just hoping that he can win an 83rd and break the Sam Snead record for the most tournament wins. So let's bring back in Johnny Lyon again. And Johnny, I ask you, do you think Tiger Woods will ever win again?
I do. I think he will. Yeah, he seems to be on the road to recovery, and I guess he's the best player in the world. So, don't ever count Tiger out.
Mickey, you buy that? We know he's going to play in the Open Championship on a pretty flat course. That'll help him at a place where he's won before, St. Andrews. Is there a W for him to break the Sam Snead record? He's 46. If he stays in shape, even though we saw how he was limping at the end of that 4th round at Augusta. Do you think his body will hold up for him to win another title?
I do. I really do. I think he'll. I don't know that it will be this year, but as he continues to heal and get stronger and learn what his swing is like. With the new leg and the things he has to deal with, I definitely think he will. I mean, you look at the 71 he shot on Thursday, 1 under par. He didn't have anywhere close to his good golf game, but he was able to scrape it around and get it in under par. He was really in contention through 2 rounds, to be honest with you. So absolutely, I think he'll win another Masters.
All right, one other story here was obviously Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods. The other is Cam Smith, the guy from Australia, who going into the 3rd hole had wiped out the 3-stroke advantage Scheffler had down to 1, and then they switched. He was still fighting till he got to 12. The triple bogey by hitting the first shot into Rays Creek on that little par 3 that has done in even the likes of Jordan Spieth. How will Cam Smith be affected by that? Johnny, I'll start with you.
I think Cam Smith has shown the world that he is a real player and a great ball striker. I think he's going to win a lot of tournaments.
I tend to think he showed his moxie by, I know he was freaked out for a couple holes. I thought he got it back together. I don't think this is going to destroy him. Mickey Barker, what do you think?
Not at all. I think he's a strong enough player. He's had bad rounds before and lost tournaments that he felt like he should win. I don't think you'll see any issue with him. He's a world-class player. He'll be in the top 10 in the world for a long time.
All right. I tend to agree with that, and I get to make the first pick. Mickey goes second. J-Mo goes third, just like last week, but this is because of earnings now. And Johnny Lyon, he goes last. And I'm going to go along with those lines. You remember at Augusta when Rory McIlroy hit it way left on 10 and blew up, never recovered the first time he was trying to win the career Grand Slam. But he came back and he won a U.S. Open right after that. I think Cam Smith's coming back. I'm picking Cam Smith to win at Hilton Head this week. Mickey, you're next.
I think that's a good pick, Dave. Webb Simpson played well at the Masters. He's kind of on the comeback from some health issues he had. He loves Hilton Head.
Yep.
He plays perfectly well there. He finished high last year. I'm going to take Webb Simpson.
That's a shame. That's who I was going to take.
That's who we're going there?
That's who I had with Webb Simpson. But I got a backup. I'm prepared. I'm going to take Kevin Kisner. I don't have any information to say about him. I was going to say exactly what Mickey just said about Webb Simpson, so I'm just going to take Kevin Kisner.
And our winner, Johnny Lyon. There's no Scotty Scheffler for you this week, big boy.
Yep, I'm going with DJ Dustin Johnson.
Yeah. Dustin Johnson played well until Sunday, right? And that sort of did him in, and that, if I recall correctly, was Johnny's pick. Mickey's pick was DJ last week.
It was, and I think he'll play well at Hilton Head. But that golf course, having played it, it really doesn't favor a long hitter. Obviously, DJ can win on any golf course and blow the field away on any course, but I think your shorter hitters have as good a chance as anybody there.
Before we make our shock picks, I have one more question for you, Mickey, regarding public golf, because there's been such investment. I'm so happy for the way things have worked out with the city and putting all the money into golf. We know about Pine Hill, but you are about, and Overton, but you are about to put brand new greens, I believe, into Fox Meadows. So I want to give a spoiler alert here for people to get out and play Ali's course. That is Fox Meadows. Before you change the greens, when is that going to happen?
Looks like the plan is to shut down completely about or around May 15th. We have already begun fumigating the greens. We've actually killed the grass on the greens there now. So they're going to roll just fine for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And then we'll close down on or around May 15th. And we'll start prepping the grass to put the new Mini Verde. Yeah, Mini Verde is what we're going with.
Are you changing the greens at all? Are they going to be the same? You're just replanting the Mini Verde Hybrid Bermuda?
Right, we're going with what's called a no-till process. We won't do any reshaping or any thing like that. It'll be a no-till. It'll grow in quicker, and we should, barring any disasters, we should be up and going by the end of August.
All right. I am going to pick. This is crazy because I just don't really trust him. But, if he's going to come back in his career, except for being a star in commercials, maybe this is the time. I'm picking Ricky Fowler to do well this week.
That's a good pick. I think everybody hopes Ricky Fowler will do well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Maverick McNeely has really been trending in the right direction.
Yep.
Great player. I think he'll have a great week.
I'm going to take Chris Kirk. He is, I believe, top 10 in 2 tournaments this year. He missed a cut in one. I think the players maybe missed a cut, but he's had some top 10s and top 5s, and I'm going to take Chris Kirk.
All right, Johnny, what's your shock, 51 or below, in the world golf rankings?
I'll have to go with Davis Love for a.
Oh my gosh, that is a very sentimental pick. I love that.
Yep. That's the only win at Wingfoot, and I love Davis Love, and I like the way he plays. That's his home course.
It is. And he's played well there for sure. He lives in South Carolina. So, all right, so here are the picks. I've got Cam Smith as my lock, Ricky Fowler as my shock. Mickey's got Webb Simpson as his lock. Maverick McNeely is the shock. J-Mo's got Kevin Kisner. Chris Kirk is his shock. And Johnny's got DJ with Davis Love III, a shocking shock, I would have to say. Johnny, thank you. We appreciate it. Mickey, thank you as always. And you guys have a great weekend watching all the golf, and we'll do this again next Wednesday.
Sounds great.
Deal. Thank you, Wolo.
Thank you. I should point out this portion of our show brought to you by Athens Distributorship and their Grind City Brewing, and I'm talking about that Pilsner, which I love so very much. It's called the wonderful Pilsner, light, crisp, and refreshing. It's Poppy's Pils. That's for Pilsner. Little play on words here. Poppy's is terrific. It's light. It's refreshing. It's local. I don't think it gets any better. You can't believe, as Caroline says, it's sexy. But it's really built for speed. It's made right here. As I mentioned, it's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. All you have to do is go to your favorite retailer, ask about it. They know about it. It's best enjoyed ice cold. It's the newest thing from Grind City. It is called Poppy's Pils. We've had it once before on as a part of our sponsorship, and I've come to really love it. I think you will too. Poppy's Pils from Grind City. And this portion of the show brought to you by the sweetest thing there is in Memphis. It is an icon of Memphis taste. It is. When it comes to sweets, the thing people talk about in Memphis, it's Dinstall's. Nobody makes the strawberries. We're in the heart of the season right now. Nobody makes the strawberries like they do, where they enrobe it in this sweet kind of powdery sugar thing. They won't tell you what's in there, but it's fantastic. And then they put the chocolate over it, and somehow that mixture, that sweet thing in between, breaks down the strawberry, makes it so you just can't beat it. You can't beat the Cashew Crunch. Nobody does Cashew Crunch in the world. And they do it. It's the signature other dish, in my estimation, at Dinstall's. It's just the best, and there's 5 places you can go to enjoy Dinstall's and become the life of whatever party. If you're going to go to a playoff party for the Grizz, you bring Dinstall's, everybody will love you. You can get it downtown where the Grizzlies play. You can get it in Collierville, Germantown. You can get it in my neighborhood in Laurelwood, or you can get it where they make the candy. That, of course, is on Pleasant View. Dinstall's, that's the taste of Memphis. Jarvis Greer, another Memphis icon. He comes your way in just a minute.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released, available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You will love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of stock in proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier is the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Is your company going through a merger or downsizing and you feel your job is in jeopardy? Don't delay. Call ProResume, the #1 source for professional resumes in the Mid-South. Go to ProResume.biz or call 685-1950, the fastest way to a new job.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done. And you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for some action? Sports gambling is legal in Tennessee. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Go to Action247.com. Register and place your bets. Are you a sharp or a first-time bettor? Action 24/7 has you covered. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action 24/7. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in. Always a pleasure to chat with our friend from Action News 5, another one of these Memphis icons. That would be Jarvis Greer. Jarvo, tell the truth. Who were you rooting for last night, the Timberwolves or the Clippers?
I was kind of going for the T-Wolves. I just don't like the idea of trying to play a team that went to the Western Conference Finals.
I'm with
in the
you.
First round.
I agree.
God bless them. The T-Wolves looked good last night in that comeback. Other than that, I had to agree with Charles and them that they looked pretty dumb for the most part in the first part of the game because they just throwing the ball all over the place and taking crazy shots. But they pulled out the win and they got it at home, so good for them. Let them celebrate. I was glad to see that celebration. Maybe they celebrated themselves out. Before they get down.
You know what? I meant to bring that up, but it was like crazy. First of all, I think Patrick Beverly is half nuts. I do.
Well, that's true.
And part of his whole thing is his joy is to make you miserable. He wants to sort of try to get in your head. He's going to try to do that with Ja. You can bet, or Desmond Bain, or Brooks.
He's kind of their Tony Allen. Tony Allen was that kind of nemesis,
right.
But Tony Allen wasn't as dirty as Pat Bev. I think Pat Bev gets kind of carried away with it a little bit too much.
I agree.
And he lets his emotions take over. And I think TA was much more cerebral in his approach to defense rather than just trying to go out and beat somebody up. You know what I mean? Or make a kind of halfway dirty play off.
No. I think Patrick Beverly actually is he is dirty. He is going to be the fans' target for hate. Yeah, they're going to love to hate on him. That is going to be fun. But back to your original thing. You would have thought, and the TNT post studio crew was making a point about this. You would have thought last night they just won the NBA title. I mean, it was crazy the way they were celebrating getting into the playoffs.
Well, they haven't been twice in 18 years or something rather like that.
Yeah,
the last time was 2018. So it's been a long time coming for them. They've long suffered there for a while. And they've gotten a lot of first-round picks, like high, number one picks. Anthony Edwards was number one, I think, and then D'Angelo Russell was a great player. He was a high lottery pick on his first team, and now he's in Minnesota now. Of course, Cat was a high lottery pick, so they finally got them together, and they've got them grown up enough where they're ready to compete on the big stage now. But they're just getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this Grizzlies team is a bit more seasoned.
Well, they certainly play smarter, and I think their coach is a little bit more game savvy. I mean, Chris Finch last night allowing both Russell and Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, to get into the kind of foul trouble they did early in the game was not the brightest thing I've ever seen, or as Charles said, terrible coaching.
Maybe maybe it was reverse psychology. Go ahead and let Cat foul out because he was having a horrible game, and he was the total focus of the Clippers' defense. So they took him out, but the other guys went off. So, in that particular instance, in that particular game, it worked out well.
So they have a core that has Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell and Patrick Beverley.
Right.
That is that the Vanderbilt kid is a really good rebounder. Beasley can shoot. But do you believe in the contention that both Barkley and Shaq agreed on, that there is more talent than Memphis has? I think they diminished both Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain, and Dylan Brooks in this.
Well, also, you forget, you got Brandon Clark coming in off the bench. DeAnthony Melton, he's got to have a good playoff series, but, he is as good as anybody that the Timberwolves got to throw out there. And, I just think pound for pound, there's more talent on this Memphis roster, and the Grizzlies were much more consistent over the course of the season, and which I would think would lead they'd be more consistent in the course of a 7-game series. If it goes that many games. I'm not going to say that the Grizzlies won't give up a game to the T-Wolves because, they're the only team. They split the season series?
They split every game. Every home team won their game. And D'Angelo Russell outplayed statistically Ja in the 4 games.
Well, but you got to remember, in none of those games did the villain play. Dylan Brooks did not play a game against the Clippers this year. And when they're all on the floor, you just see how that it all just works out. When they got everybody that's supposed to start out there for Memphis, you see how everybody knows their role, knows what they're doing, and just the whole symmetry of it is much more better than the kind of chaotic stuff that you get with a really young club that the Timberwolves have. But the Grizzlies are young too. They just have they seem to be. Well, they got a really good coach in Taylor Jenkins, and they seem to fit into their roles a lot better. I think Charles and them were saying, well, wait, and Charles and Shaq were saying, well, the Grizzlies haven't been tested here lately, and the frenetic style of the Timberwolves is going to give them trouble.
Yeah,
they can be frenetic all they want.
Yeah, they're saying they're going to crack under the pressure, and the one aspect that I don't know was brought up, but it was in subsequent stories, is that Memphis was the number 2 clutch team this year. Clutch teams coming through. I think the point total is a game within 5 in the last 5 minutes of the game.
The last 5 minutes.
And Memphis was the number 2 clutch team. Where do they get that Memphis is going to fold under pressure? I don't get that.
I think that's just seeing what's in front of you at the moment. They came from 10 down back on the Clipper squad that really had. I think they won 5 straight going into the play-in game, but they really didn't beat anybody. And the teams they played were well below 500.
If they shot 40%, if they had shot 40%, the Clippers would have won the game. And Paul George was pretty terrible in that game until the pressure was off, and he hit a couple of threes when they weren't getting back in the game.
It's like I wanted the Timberwolves in this series, and I'm not going to back off of that. Now, could it come back to bite me? Yeah, anything can happen, but I think over the course of a 7-game series, the better team usually wins, and I think the Grizzlies are better than the Timberwolves.
So
they just are.
If we match this up, okay, with the starters, you're probably going to put Triple J on Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, because they both like to go outside, and Jaren can guard outside the paint much better than Steven Adams can.
And I would,
and that's another thing. They don't have any other size beside Cat.
Well, they got Vanderbilt.
So
Vanderbilt will play.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's good.
He'll play against Steven Adams most likely. Then I would, and Taylor Jenkins does better than me, but I would play Dylan Brooks on D'Angelo Russell to try to take a little bit out of him. And remember all those numbers they were comparing yesterday. Dylan Brooks, I don't think played in any of those games, did he?
No, he did not play against the T-Wolves this year. That was during that time he was out. Because it's November, remember, he had that, I think he broke his hand or something, and he was still recovering from that surgery over the summer.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 times they played him, he was out with that ankle when he rolled that ankle really badly. He missed 2 months of the season.
And
So,
yeah.
So that's a whole X factor you're throwing in there. You think, well, the Grizzlies, and they were saying that the Timberwolves are more talented. I still don't get how they say
Well,
it.
I would say this. I think the most talented guy, and this is what Kenny Smith was saying, the most talented guy is Ja on the floor. Then you would take the next two. You'd probably have to put Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards 2 and 3.
I don't know. I think Anthony Edwards is up there. He's up. He was up there on the kind of a Ja level. Simply because getting off the bus, which one would you think would be the better player? Anthony Edwards, what? 6'6",
and you know they
16,
may get
the
like
next 20.
Would you say the next 3? Would you put D'Angelo Russell over Triple J if we're being honest here, and you're just looking at overall game and impact?
Well, he can score, but Jaren does so many other things. Jaren's like that unicorn guy that does a whole bunch of different things.
Well, he certainly defends and he can block shots. He's gotten a lot better in that regard.
And he can score.
It'll be fun. I think the Grizzlies win it too, and I think they win it in 6 or 7. I think it's going to be a great series.
You think it's going to go that long?
I do, and I think Patrick.
I'm leaning toward 5. Ooh. I am leaning toward 5.
You're thinking a runaway. Well, Patrick Beverley is going to become the biggest thing I'm sure of. Is Patrick Beverley is going to become
public enemy
number one. Yeah, exactly. My friend, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll do this again next Wednesday.
Looking forward to it. Hey, we'll be on the road probably. How about that?
Oh, wow.
The next game is the Thursday in Minneapolis. It'll be game 3.
Yeah, so you're going,
so we'll be headed up that direction.
Okay, good. We'll
see. We'll see. The plans are still being devised. So
we'll talk to you from Minneapolis if that is the case. I was curious, are you now a construction worker? Because I could hear that beep in the back. Maybe you were driving some sort of a dump truck or something.
Man, I got a nail in my tire. I'll get another. I'm here at the tire shop now, trying to get that taken care of.
You're a good
I'm always going to be available to you, Dave.
You're a good man, Jarvis Greer. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
All righty.
That is our man from Action News 5. That is Jarvis Greer. He's brought to you by Miramichi, that beautiful place north of Memphis, about 10 minutes from downtown in Woodstock. You know it, 330 acres of beauty and 7,400 yards of championship golf. If you want to play that many, there are literally 4 other tee boxes you can choose from. And if you're a senior, right in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you can play golf for $33. That includes range balls and the cart. On the weekends, for everybody, Friday it's $49.50. It's $55 on Saturday and Sunday. And again, you get range balls and the golf cart. And I got to tell you, the great thing about this, if you want to go and practice, they have better practice facilities than almost every country club. It's really a cool deal. Miramichi with that wonderful terrace that overlooks 9 and 18. You see lakes and fountains and the best view with all the trees. Hillside, you're up. Oh, it's just gorgeous. The best view in Shelby County, the terrace at Miramichi. Go take advantage. You will love what you see. And again, it's close. I'm telling you, it's 10 minutes north of downtown. If you live downtown, that should be your golf course, Miramichi. So we got the picks in today. We thank Mickey Barker and Johnny Lyon, and Jarvo always goes the extra mile, even with a nail in his tire. He comes through, and he'll be in Minneapolis covering this next week. We'll have him on from right outside the Target Center, I got a feeling. So that'll do it for us. A reminder, Johnny Radio off, but Brian Dacus and J. Morgan Harder, they come your way to keep it all rolling right here on Sports 56. Have a great day, everybody.
I know the sweetest